Now we're going to be talking about, and I am honored to introduce our speaker. Deryl McKissack is President and CEO of McKissack and McKissack, an architectural, engineering, program, and construction firm managing over $10 billion in projects nationwide. During the past 27 years, under the leadership nationwide, under the leadership of McKissack and McKissack, has managed such landmarks projects as the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, MGM National Harbor, the Obama Presidential Center, and Navy Pier Centennial projects in Chicago. The firm is also known for leading the construction and serving as the architectural firm for record of the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial in Washington, D.C. As a licensed professional engineer and registered project management professional, Deryl McKissack is part of the fifth generation of her family to work in the design and construction field. McKissack and McKissack is the outgrown of the nation's oldest African-American architectural firm and traces its beginnings to Moses McKissack, a master builder who was also enslaved. By age 6, Deryl was drafting architectural drawings under her father's guidance. After graduating from Howard University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in civil engineering, she worked at Turner Construction, Damon and Moore. While at these firms, she honored her experience in fieldwork, business development, and construction management. In 1990, with a shoestring budget of $1,000 and a business plan crafted with help from her mentor at her alma mater, Deryl started the company McKissack and McKissack. Through Deryl's guidance and vision, McKissack and McKissack has grown to 170 employees with offices in Baltimore, Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, Miami, and Washington, D.C. The company is ranked by Engineering News Record as a national top 50 construction management for free and top 100 project management firm. In 2017, the firm received DC's Business of the Year award by the DC Chamber of Commerce. She was named in 2013 Engineer of the Year by the District of Columbia Society of Professional Engineers. Please join me in welcoming to the vendor fair, Deryl McKissack.
Well, hello, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here today, and thank you for having me. I wish I could be there in person. You know, Chicago is one of my favorite cities. It's one of the only cities that I know that can showcase its grit, its swagger, and its soul all at once. It is truly unique, and I am proud to claim it as my second home. I am equally as proud of our leadership, of Lori Lightfoot, Mayor Lightfoot's commitment, and her team, their commitment to small businesses in the city of Chicago. So when I was reflecting on what I wanted to say today about what resiliency means to me, I kept coming back over and over again to the same point. When it comes to us, when it comes to being bigger, stronger people, when it comes to being small business owners, we are the textbook definition of resilience. You look the word up, resilience, and from what I can see, the images of all the people listening to me right now are examples of resilience. We've gone through this pandemic. We've experienced countless deaths of loved ones, neighbors, and of friends and family. We experienced the summer of 2020 from the knee on George Floyd's neck to tear gas in the public square. We lifted up our voices and we said, we won't let this time be the same. No, this time things are going to change. We have seen natural disasters, unemployment, inflation, and through it all, anxiety and worry grew. But let me tell you this, We are still standing. I'm standing and you are standing. We made it through to the other side. Now we have all been changed. I believe we've all been transformed, but we are stronger for it. Now I've had to drink a little bit more tequila to get through, but nevertheless, we proved we are resilient and we are stronger for it. I don't want to downplay just how hard these past years have been for so many small business owners who have watched their dreams come crashing down and their savings accounts dwindle in efforts to make payroll and hold on to their employees. But each and every day, I have thought about those who came before us. For me, it was my great-great-grandfather. He was a slave in Tennessee. He worked with his hands. He made bricks, and he built buildings. One of those buildings was the governor's mansion in Tennessee. And would you believe it? While he was working on that house, he befriended the governor. He showed the governor what hardworking people can do with an opportunity. My great-great-grandfather earned his freedom, and his grandsons were the first licensed Black architects in the state of Tennessee. 5 generations later, his great-great-daughter owns one of the largest Black architectural engineering firms in the country, and I am proud of it. But my path was not without obstacles. No, when I just got out of college on my first job working for a large construction company, I went to work every morning to a boss who sat behind his desk, but he had a Confederate flag, life-size, proudly hanging on the wall behind him. Decades after my great-great-grandfather had broken from the bonds of slavery, I reported to a man who glorified the Old South, a man who was a member of the Old Boys Club, a man who embodied the term systematic racism. It's no wonder why I was the only engineer on his team that was Black and a woman. Years later, I decided that it was time for me to start my own business. I only had $1,000 to my name and didn't even know how to write a business plan. So I went to Barnes and Noble and bought a book, which people just don't do anymore. I bought a book on how to fashion a business proposal. And I wrote down a list of 300 people that I was going to call to get work. After calling 150 of them, I had so much work that I really couldn't take on anymore. And it was my goal to work with people who shared my values, to build a team of hardworking men and women, to hire more people of color, and to ensure they had opportunities to shine in the workplace. Now my firm, McKissack and McKissack, has erected some of the country's most iconic structures. We've built national memorials to some of America's greatest leaders, memorials that must stand the test of time and remain relevant and hold up to the changing environment. We recognize that we must adapt to compete and remain successful. We use cutting-edge technology and skills honed through experience. And just like those national monuments, those historical edifices, and just like you, we have emerged as a new company. We are not afraid of this change because we are resilient. We see that the future is better because we are finally reckoning with our past. Each and every one of you in the room have proven that you have the determination, you work hard, and you know what it takes. You know that it takes sacrifice for your dreams to really become a reality. So today, I'm not only here to celebrate you and encourage you, but I also want to implore each and every one of you to rethink our shared future. Through all the unrest and uprising over the past few years, it has become crystal clear that it's time for us to refocus and prioritize, our efforts on lifting up those in our circles and in our companies and in our communities. For far too long, the equities and injustice of societal oppression and systematic racism were hidden from view. For many in this room, we may have been forced to wear a veil, to keep our voices low and our actions behind closed doors. Well, listen up. We're not going to be silent anymore. No, now is the time that the real work begins. It is time for us to refocus and reimagine our futures. And I believe our new vision should be ensuring equitable access and opportunities to those who have been left behind for far too long. Whether you are minority-owned, veteran-owned, woman-owned, or disadvantaged-owned, or firms owned or operated by people with disabilities, now is the time that we all have a seat at the table to demand opportunities and access. And the good news is that key leaders in our industry and in government are recognizing the indelible change, the intentional change that must occur. Reflected in today's events and the amazing work Mayor Lightfoot is doing, we can ensure that this time is different and that we will create real economic justice through good jobs and viable contracts. It's time that we demand economic independence and that we demand our government leaders make real investments in our communities. Just a few weeks ago, I was invited to the White House to meet with the president's advisors and offer my thoughts on how to implement the new bipartisan infrastructure bill. It is the single largest investment in our nation's infrastructure in a century. And there was a Black woman at the table helping guide the projects. And I tell you, it's a you see, our leaders realize that America has fallen behind in global competitiveness, in workplace development, in job training, and in economic security. Because for far too long, we have not tapped the full potential of this country. Simply put, we have ignored the offerings of women. We haven't supported our veteran community when they return home. We've pushed aside the disabled community, and we have left behind people of color. All of you in this room have so much to offer to this country, and it's time that you are heard, not only for your own benefit, but for our country needs you. Everything that you and your business has to offer is needed to bring our country to a new tomorrow, a tomorrow that brings us all along. I am heartened by the work of Chicago and the leaders there today who are focusing on including minority voices, because that means those government dollars will go to help build opportunities for our communities. Events like today are the start of change. I hope you will take advantage of today's offerings, networks, and information. Now, I'm not naive. I know that this reimagining of our country won't become a reality overnight. And it won't be easy, but nothing worth fighting for ever is. On his desk in the Oval Office, my favorite president, the one who claims Chicago as his second home, President Barack Obama, had a sign that read, "Hard things are hard." And it was a daily reminder of what he was fighting for and what we're all fighting for. A better tomorrow for all of us. One that reimagines what our country can be and what we can achieve. And I know that together we can make that dream reality. Economic freedom, economic independence, it's within our grasp. But make no mistake about it, it will not be given to us. we will have to make our voices heard by speaking up and speaking out. And we can do it together with resilience. I've decided to make my voice heard, and I want to hear yours as you join me. Thank you.